alive! It's alive! It's alive!
I want to play a game.
Hello and welcome to the Sounds from the Grave podcast. My name is Yussef.
And I'm Kyle.
And we want to play a game.
Yes, we do.
So for those of you that can't see, we're currently, it's hard to tell for me, but I am wearing a hoodie with a backwards cap because we wanted to feel 10 years younger.
Yep. See, it turns out many years ago, the makers of the Saw franchise discovered the secret to de-aging. You don't have to spend millions of dollars on useless CGI. You just simply put a zip-up hoodie and a backwards cap, and there you go. You're 10 years younger.
Presto. The wrinkles just melt away.
It did. Honestly, I think all movies should do this. Every flashback scene, honestly, it's like right now I can't tell if we're in a flashback or if we're 10 years younger.
We'll just call it the Kramer. We gotta pull a Kramer.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, pull out. This calls for a Kramer. Pull out the hoodie and the backwards hat.
Yep.
Have it like a special case.
Yep. They're like, I don't know. Are we de-aging them or is it a flashback?
Why not both?
Why not both? Yeah. So from here,
or it's like, are we de-aging them or is it a flashback? Yes.
Yes. So from here on out, any other movie I see with someone wearing a hoodie, a zip-up hoodie, and a backwards cap, I'm assuming that it's a flashback.
That's all it's got to be.
It's like, well, it was really weird that they put that flashback in that one scene.
It's like, why in Indiana Jones in the 40s? Why is she wearing a backwards baseball hat and a hoodie?
Oh well, that was to symbolize the whole de-aging thing. Oh, okay.
That makes perfect sense now.
That makes sense. Oh, it's a flashback. Okay, I get it. Really confused though how in the Mummy, one of the fucking Egyptians were wearing backwards caps and zip-up hoodies.
Why was Imhotep wearing a hoodie and a baseball cap?
Yeah,
the entire movie.
Oh, because it was a flashback. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Plot twist at the end of the movie, he just takes off the hat and hoodie. He's like, so it wasn't a flashback the whole time? Are you kidding me? It was just de-aging?
I didn't take Imhotep for a New York Yankees fan, but here we are. Oh, God.
For the Nile Hippos. That's his favorite team.
Yes.
The Nile Hippos.
The Nile Hippos, yep. He's probably more of a Phillies fan.
The Philly Frenetic was actually Imhotep's idea.
Exactly. Green Man.
Off to a terrific start here.
We are.
So, for those of you that don't know, we are going to be talking a little bit about the Saw franchise. It's just a running joke that me, Kyle, and you, Donnie, from Voices from the Beyond have of every single time we see anything to do with de-aging or anything to do with John Kramer wearing a hoodie and a backwards hat, we have to tag each other in it.
Yeah.
Because it's the funniest thing to us.
Because it's literally the funniest thing that the Saw franchise does. And it's like we noticed it, and then if you watch the movies, the Spiral spinoff, they do it to Chris Rock as well.
They really do.
They literally just put a backwards cap on him and like a rookie cop outfit. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. It's a flashback, and he's younger.
No, that makes more sense.
It's just, I don't understand. Like, I want to find a way to talk to the people who were in charge of that. Like, what was your thought process there?
They're like, there was a thought process? What do you mean thought process? It just came to me.
Exactly. It's just funny seeing John Kramer walk into that, like, it was like
a book signing, I think, right?
It was like a book signing. Yeah, just walk in there with his zip-up hoodie and his backwards cap. Like, how do you do, fellow kids? I want to play a game.
Do the kids still play Tetris?
Boy, do I have a game for them.
It's called Parcheesi.
It's called Which Limb Do You Want Me to do you want to try and fit this puzzle piece?
It's called Chutes and Ladders. You pick. Do you want your foot to go into a chute or down a ladder?
Oh God.
Anyway, so
we love the Saw franchise.
We really do, and we're really, really excited for Saw 10.
Yep.
Or Saw X.
Or it's yep. Really hoping for a backwards cap and sip of putty combo.
And
I'll be looking for it.
And also a Dom Toretto cameo, because they're both coming out the same year. We got Fast X that we just saw this weekend, which was amazing.
We did. We all saw it. For those who don't know, we all saw it with our friends together, and we all cosplayed, no joke, as Dom Toretto in black tank tops and Dom Toretto cross necklaces.
Oh yeah. It was the funniest thing, especially because you weren't there. This is before you came in. When we were at the chicken place. When we were at the chicken place, and Kat and Will and Travis were already there, and I saw them from outside. So I just run in, burst the door open. I just went, "Family!" The people sitting next to them jumped. They're like, "What the fuck?" They just see this random guy in a black tank in a black white beater, just walk in yelling "family."
I wish we had more people, because it was just hilarious how we all just walked into the side door of the chicken guy, and I wonder how many people just looked like. There's a lot of people showing up in black tank tops and those cross necklaces. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's like a cult with cars.
Oh wait, what? By the way, if you guys haven't seen it, I definitely recommend that you watch Fast 10. That movie was so much fun.
We highly recommend it. Jason Momoa, top 10 movie villain of all time. It's fucking great. Absolutely love him.
Oh man, it was amazing.
But
anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're not here to talk about Fast 10.
Yes, we're here to talk about the Saw franchise. But before we get that, a couple of little fun news things that I don't think we touched up on our last episode. So speaking of October, because the new Saw movie comes out in October, but also Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes.
We finally have a trailer and everything, and I am so stoked.
It looks so good.
My boy Matthew Lillard looks great as Anton.
Yup.
Then you got I can never remember the actor's name
from Hunger Games.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh god, Josh something.
Josh. Yeah, I forgot who it was.
God, I'm the worst at that. I hate that too. I hate that I forgot it. I was like, what's his name? Right before you said it, I was like, what's that guy's name?
I saw a meme of that.
Josh Hutcherson.
Oh, Hutcherson. Yeah, I saw a meme of that where it was like, man, boy, this dude just has the worst luck. It's like, first he loses his best friend to a bridge. And then he gets put in the Hunger Games, and now he's first night on the job. He's at Freddy Fazbear's.
Oops.
It's like, damn.
I love the trailer for it too. Like the way it was set up. The opening was like a very like kind of like 80s training video type thing.
Yeah,
which was really cool. I love that, especially with like the 80s music to it.
It looks like it's gonna do really good in keeping up with how the game is, because it showed him walk into the security room and sit down and everything.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be really like accurate to the game. Like follow at least like the main story.
I'm excited because like I used to always just thought Five Nights at Freddy's was just that one little game and that was it, but there's actually like a shit ton of lore to this.
There's like a bunch of books, so it's like
insane.
Like 5 or 6 games. There's a VR thing that came out. It's a lot of stuff, a lot more than I thought it was going to be actually.
Yep.
But
I'm excited.
Me too. And then it's funny because it's adding, it is being produced by Blumhouse. So that's kind of adding fuel to the fire of like, are we gonna get Five Nights?
I know.
House
I'm
year?
hoping we do.
I'm really, especially after seeing this, I'm like, I could definitely see this as a house. Like the game definitely translates well to it, but like seeing the movie and like seeing the sets, like in live action, I was like, this could definitely be a great house.
Yep. And then, not to do with Five Nights at Freddy's, but. Just something I saw recently. So first set photos of Beetlejuice 2 has come out, and Winona Ryder is there, and it looks like they're keeping the original Lydia hairstyle on her.
She's
I
got
was
the
like,
original
huh,
look. I saw that too.
that's an interesting look for like older Winona Ryder. I figured they might go for like a different look for Lydia, but nope. So I mean, either way, it's whatever.
It's
I'm
Winona
still excited
Ryder.
for it. Yep,
Yeah.
I'm still excited for it.
Yes,
I cannot believe we're actually in 2023 and we're finally actually legitimately talking about actual set photos from that movie. I'm still not gonna believe it's actually coming out till we're in theaters watching it.
36 years later.
Yeah,
36 years since the original came out.
Until we're sitting in the theaters and we get past the logo and the movie actually starts, I'm not gonna believe we're actually watching it.
Oh, speaking of upcoming films,
Uh-oh.
Maxine. We've got a release date for Maxine.
Yep. July 7th or 4th?
4th of July.
Yeah, 4th of
It is
July, yeah.
All American, baby.
Next year, unfortunately, though.
All American, though.
Yep. But we're not getting it till next year.
Yeah.
But you know what?
You know what?
That's okay.
It's okay. It's a great way to celebrate. What better way to celebrate America than to celebrate grindhouse porn actresses?
Exactly.
Who are a fucking star.
Who's more American? Like, seriously.
Nobody's more American than Maxine.
Yep.
Doesn't even come close.
Nope.
Except for maybe Rex Kwon Do from Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You don't want to take a roundhouse kick while he's wearing one of those bad boys.
When you get kicked, all you see is freedom.
All you see is freedom.
He will kick the communism out of you.
Oh
Jesus
God.
Christ.
Anyway, was there anything else that's
like major news wise that we have seen recently? I don't think so.
If you like super fun don't think about it too much campy shark movies, the Meg
the
Meg 2 the Trench came out, and it looks really cool, but then there was this one shot where Jason Statham like drives a fucking Sea-Doo and spins it and has a katana. I was like, absolutely, this is gonna be sick.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be campy as shit.
Oh my God, I cannot wait for that. Actually, I did just remember because I forgot that we didn't have an episode the week before, but Dead by Daylight news.
Oh yes, the best fucking character ever has been released.
Like, we're supposed to be getting more details. I think it's the 5th of July on this.
Yep.
Dead by Daylight is going to have Nicolas Cage.
Our fucking boy Nick Cage.
Nick Cage is going to be in Dead by Daylight. And you know why he's going to be in Dead by Daylight?
Why?
One of his kids is such a huge fan of the game, he literally begged the developers to put his dad into the game.
That's sick.
I love that.
That's sick.
Can you imagine?
I love how
Could
much...
you imagine like the developers of freaking Dead by Daylight get like an email or like a phone call from somebody like claiming to be Nicolas Cage's dad? Is like, hey, can you guys like put my dad in the game? And they're like, we don't know who your dad is. Like, you guys definitely know who my dad is. It's Nick Cage.
It's Nick fucking Cage.
And like you can see a tiny little bit of his character model in like the mini like teaser trailer that came out, and I'm like, it looks really good. It looks just like Nick Cage. That's awesome.
I just love it, man. God, I fucking love Nick Cage so much, and not only just has he just been absolutely fucking the best at horror, now he's gonna be in Dead by Daylight. This is insane.
And I want to play as Nick Cage.
I love it. I absolutely. I don't even play Dead by Daylight, but I will play as Dead by Daylight and play as
just
Nick
to
Cage.
be Nick Cage. Oh my God. I think they said too that he's gonna be. You can choose him as different types of characters, so not just the killer or a survivor. I think you can play as both. So what I want is to play a game where I play Nick Cage as the survivor and you play as Ghostface.
Yeah.
Best thing ever, right there.
That'd be great.
Oh
we just had to say Nick Cage lines the whole time.
What's your favorite scary movie? Whichever one I'm not in.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
I think that may be it. Hold on, me look up. I know. Well, not necessarily like it will be news. It'll be past by the time people listen to this. But after this recording, 'cause I won't be able to catch it live. It starts right now. The Fangoria Chainsaw Awards.
Oh,
are gonna
yeah,
be
that's
on
right.
Shudder. Yep. Be checking that out. Hoping me a Goth and Terrifier 2
Fingers crossed.
good thing. What was it? I forgot. I'll have to send you the link for it. Somebody I saw on Twitter found it. There's some like other country website that specializes in physical media is selling it. They're selling a director's cut of Infinity Pool that you can buy.
God.
Have to see that. I have to get that and see that.
Oh man, I definitely have to see that too.
Yep.
Which is so weird because I was talking about this on Twitter like a month ago, where I was like, I saw it only the one time. I didn't love it when I first saw it, but I still like think about Infinity Pool.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Like I don't know what about that movie stuck with me, but I still think about that and like the weird shit that happened in that movie.
It was a pretty insane movie.
But also how amazing Mia Goth was in it.
Oh yeah. What was it? Scrolling through Bloody Disgusting right now.
Oh, also, quick note. I just saw this on Amazon today, actually, because I was just kind of browsing through movies this morning. I don't know how long it's been up there, but The Northman is right now. It's on Amazon Prime for you to watch.
Oh hell yeah!
So if you haven't seen it, or if you want to rewatch it, by all means, it's a great movie. Watch it. It's worth it.
It is.
It's amazing. It's Robert Eggers.
I
mean, it's top tier
yeah.
Robert Eggers. Anything Robert Eggers has done is top tier.
It is. It actually is. That's why he's my favorite director. I'm not. I don't think I've seen anything else. Here we go. Apparently a psychological thriller about a surfer gang in a beach is coming out called The Surfer, and it stars
with Nick Cage.
Nick Cage.
Yes, I saw that too, and I completely forgot about that until you brought it up. But I'm like, oh my god, Surfer Nicolas Cage.
Yep.
With a cult of surfers.
That'll be great.
Hell yeah, count me in.
I think that may be it though.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
I'm excited for that.
I don't see anything else right now.
Yeah, it's been a little quiet, except for like the big trailers and stuff like that. But it's good stuff that's coming out. We've finally getting not really like I wouldn't even say it's like a huge trailer for Five Nights because it's only like what, like a 45-second thing.
Yeah.
Weird. But yeah, hopefully we get like an actual trailer for it, but like not super long trailer or anything, because I don't like trailers too much anymore because they do spoil quite a bit of movies now.
Yeah, they did.
Like if you guys haven't heard the review of Evil Dead Rise, seeing the trailer kind of hurt us for watching the movie because a lot of the stuff that happens in the trailer, or that happens in the movie, was already shown in the trailer.
Yeah,
but it is what it is. What more can you say? That's why I'm trying my best to avoid trailers unless it's like something short like that Five Nights one that was like literally a 40-second ad.
Yeah.
I'm like, that doesn't really show you anything. Plus, I already kind of know the basics of Five Nights, so it's okay.
Real quick, beginning filming this fall, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2.
Oh, dear Lord, no.
It's been confirmed to be filming this fall.
Oh, God. The movie was so bad.
It was bad, but it was entertaining.
To the point where we made the cult. What are we, the Honey Pot cult?
Honey Pot cult, yeah. And had to go watch that other one.
Yep. The Hot Topic is still selling the shirts, too.
Oh, hell yeah.
The blood, yeah. Last time I went to the mall and I went to Hot Topic, I was like, oh my god, they still have Blood and Honey shirts. I should get one.
We should all get one and wear it Mei-Chi-Chin one night.
Oh my god.
People would be like, did you guys really like that movie? What the fuck?
Just walk around with like a honey pot. So what's up?
What up? Where's the Blood and Honey house?
Where the poo at?
Where the poo at? Yeah. God damn. All right. Well,
All right.
I say we get into Saul stuff.
Which is what we're supposed to be getting into, but of course we
Yes.
get sidetracked.
This is what happens when Vanya's not here to,
Keep us in check.
keep us in check. Yeah.
Anyway, so here's what we're doing today. Because we're so excited for Saw 10, we decided we're huge fans of the franchise. Why don't we do a top 10 list on our favorite traps?
Yep.
Now
And we're doing the entire franchise.
on
Saw
the entire
1
franchise, all the way
through
to
Spiral.
Yep. Now we didn't really have ground rules per se, but we had like we don't know what our lists are yet. We haven't talked about our lists. All we know is that we have lists.
Yeah, like
that's it.
we haven't seen each other's lists, so this is gonna be great.
Yep.
And we both have our own criteria by how we chose.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so like to explain my criteria, I went by overall creativity and design of the trap, how impactful it is in terms of what the lesson is it's trying to teach, and also in terms of not escaping it, how gory was it, or how violent the trap was.
I had 4 bases for my criteria. My first one was, does it fit the Saw? Does it fit the Saw ideology, which is basically like the whole theme of Saw of giving a lesson, letting people appreciate their life. Does the trap fit the crime, punishment fit the crime, etc. Is it survivable, or basically as long as it's not straight up murder? Because unfortunately, like there are some traps in this franchise that are unwinnable, that were just designed just to straight up kill the victims no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Was it executed well? Pretty much almost the same criteria as Yussef's.
Were they executed well?
And then the last one was just simply, did I like it?
Nice. Yeah, I mean, like I think there's like maybe one or two. I think it's just one I think two in this of mine that are technically not regular traps because they would have been straight up murder, or they are straight up murder. But the fact that the design for them was so cool and what they did for the franchise are cool, that's why I still put them on that list.
Yeah. I have two traps on mine that are straight up murder, that are unwinnable, but that's because they were like some of my favorites, so I couldn't leave them off. Which, I mean, I'm saying I don't want to do straight up murder things, but literally my favorite character in the Saw franchise is Detective Hoffman, who, even though he does at first, go by the Saw rules and doesn't stray too far, he does end up going on a straight up fucking legit killing spree in the sickest, most badass way ever.
Not only does he do it for he doesn't do it for enjoyment, he literally does it just to cause a distraction.
Yeah, it just calls it. He kills like fucking 10, 11 cops.
Yep.
And people goes like, this motherfucker literally
John Wicked an entire room full of cops.
Yeah, he literally does. He takes a body, he replaces the body, and he gets in the fucking body bag. He goes in the morgue, they unzip him, and then he's like, surprise, stabs him in the neck, gets out, and then does this whole surprise stab in the neck, shank stuff, and then shoots a dude straight through a fucking one-way mirror, all to just get to Jill.
Ridiculous.
He kills like 10 people. It's fucking insane. That's why people I saw on Dead Meat. I think it was Dead Meat. They named him Detective Hoffman. The Hoffinator.
The Hoffinator, yeah. The Hoffinator.
But I don't know what it is. What it is about him, but it's just ever since I saw Detective Hoffman, it was like the first time ever in a movie where it was like I love John Kramer, and then you get this new guy and you're kind of like, God, who's this ripoff? And then you're like, oh, holy shit, I like this guy. Actually, I think I may actually like this guy more than John Kramer. It's weird.
I mean, I can see that. I still think John is my go-to.
Oh yeah, I mean John's the OG, but with Hoffman, it was he started out with this like really cool like vigilante like type thing where he was just trying to he lost his sister and he was trying to get revenge on his sister's killer and stuff, and then he becomes the apprentice, but then he sort of becomes darker throughout.
Yeah, like, and I will say, outside of like, one of the things I like the most about Hoffman is just how calculating he is.
He's extremely calculated.
Like obviously, like Kramer had the technical know-how and like the engineering background of like building all these things.
Yeah.
But the fact that, like the whole cat and mouse game that he sets up with Peter Strahm in Saw 5, that is like genius level intellect.
It's insane. I think Hoffman's downfall was the fact that he has a feud with Jill. Yeah. If he was on the same page with Jill, he would have probably got even further. I mean, we're not even. I mean, it's. I don't know. We're to assume he's dead because they didn't mention him in Jigsaw.
Yeah,
and that's like 10 years later. But you never actually see Hoffman die.
Yeah, I think it
would
was
be
like
cool.
I think it was what happened. What happens with every villain at some point? They get so sure of themselves that they just get sloppy.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, like out of the apprentices, he's my favorite. I do want to see more of the new apprentice, Logan.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of liked Amanda, but I don't know. She kind of got annoying when she would start getting jealous and just making these like awful traps that just straight up killed people.
She was just like ruled by emotion at that point.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely Hoffman's my favorite.
Which I mean, I definitely like Logan. There's definitely no apprentice of Amanda of Kramer's that I dislike or anything.
Yeah.
It's just that I just happen to like Hoffman more than Amanda. For me, it's be like Hoffman, Logan, Amanda.
Yeah, that's how it is for me too.
Yeah, not to say that is bad, because Amanda was also really, really calculating too, especially when having to maintain appearances in Saw 2 during that entire Nerf game.
Yeah. And what's also great about Hoffman is that this motherfucker is a literal police detective. He still has to go to work. So this motherfucker is being like Jigsaw by night.
The own traps that he's created.
Yes. It's insane.
Yep.
I love it. And he has literally probably one of the greatest things ever was I remember in theaters just like being so happy and clapping and amazed when the whole the ending of Saw 5 when he just like gets in that glass coffin and goes down in the thing and the blood's splattering and you realize that it's literally like he literally just set that dude up the whole time.
Yup. Smart man.
Yep. All right,
but anyway.
Yeah, anyway, we
get into our list here
about our favorite Jigsaw apprentices. So now we'll talk about the actual traps.
Right, so starting off at my number 10, I have the drowning box from Saw 5. That is the box that they put Peter Strahm in. Supposed to be an inescapable trap.
Yeah, the one where he takes the pin and makes his own. Like, I didn't know that could even work like that.
And literally makes a tracheotomy.
Yeah, I didn't know that worked like that.
Gives himself literally breathing room for that, which is insanity. But
the
overall design is really cool. It's really scary as like in terms of the claustrophobia and also the water element of it. Of like this dude is literally putting in like the giant like water cooler bottles full of water into you.
Yeah, and you're literally just in a box, and like just your head is in a box. It's like, can you imagine drowning, but the rest of your body is completely fine?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just your head's in the box. Like that's the scariest shit.
Wild, yeah. That is just like really scary because like especially because like the way he was like set up in it, where like his head is like slightly like kind of tilted up, so you really can't. There's like no movement there. Yeah, little to no movement, other than like your arms and legs, Which I mean, if Hoffman was actually smarter, he would have just tied him up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it wouldn't have gotten that awesome scene of this guy literally giving himself a tracheotomy.
That was insane. Yeah, that was awesome.
Stabbing himself in the neck with a pen and opening the cap.
Yeah, and I liked it because that's also a big thing in the Saw ideology is how strong is your will to survive, is your will to live.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. Great trap, great design. I loved it.
Good one. Starting off pretty good with number 10. Like that. So my first one, and like I said, this list took a long time to even come up with the traps, and then even to sit down and rank them. And honestly, these could be anywhere, but I'm just going to go by what I put. My number 10, I'm starting off with the classic, the bathroom trap from Saw 1. Yeah, this was set up by John, and later we find out Amanda also helped set it up.
Yep.
With Dr. Gordon and is it Adam? I think is his name.
Yeah, Gordon.
Yeah.
Jeff. Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon. Yeah, Jeff Gordon
with NASCAR driver Jeff Gordon.
But yeah, just simply, you're chained up. You have a little rusty saw, a hacksaw, and then you've got a chain on your leg, and it's pretty simple how to escape. Yep. You have to saw your leg off, your foot off at least.
Yep.
As Dr. Gordon does.
That's actually my number 9. That's the next one on my list.
Oh wow!
So look at that, because again, it comes down to the simplicity of it, but I also love all the little like things, like bits and pieces that you could have done in the game. Like, the basis of the game originally was Gordon, you need to kill Adam to escape.
Yeah,
like that was the main thing.
Yep.
And the fact that there's like multiple ways that he either could have done that, and he didn't, because he could have poisoned him with a cigarette.
Yep.
He could have shot him with a gun.
Yep.
He could have literally gotten his own foot off and then killed him with like the same, in any other way. Yeah. There's like multiple ways he could have done it, but I love the fact that he fought that. He's like, I'm a doctor that like goes beyond, like my Hippocratic oath to harm another human being.
Yeah. And it's so awesome that like all of the first original, no movie is ever gonna like blow me away. The first Saw movie, the first time I saw it, like I love how the bathroom trap is pretty much the whole movie, besides like them showing all the other ones, and then you finally get it at the end with them sawing it off and stuff, and then you're trying to figure out what's going on, and you find out that it's literally the dead guy. The whole time. In the middle of the floor from the whole movie is fucking John Kramer. He just gets up. And it was like, holy shit, this movie is insane.
Yep.
I mean, it was directed by James Wan, so of course it's gonna be good.
And not to mention like the little like not even that twist, but like the red herring twist where like the guy that you think is Jigsaw is just somebody else playing the game too.
Yep, exactly.
And it's just like, damn, like this dude thought it all out.
Yep, it's insane. But also, wasn't this is the one where isn't this the one where Amanda fucked up because when she threw one of them in the bathtub, she threw the key.
She threw the key
on
his chest
the drain.
Went down the drain. Went down the drain when he woke up.
So he was pretty much, there was no way he was going to escape unless he found some other way.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, was she supposed to do that, or was she just supposed to put the key in the water at some point?
I think she was supposed to put the key in the water.
Oh, jeez.
It's because Amanda like really fucked up a lot of stuff.
Goofed it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like the one thing that was like a little bit weird for me, because like it's so inconvenient in any other way. Like, what if he had still thrashed around, even if that was in the water, it would have still gone down the drain, and if it didn't, it would have been a really easy way to get out of the trap. Because the key would have just been right there on the tub.
Exactly.
So it's like a little hard to like determine what the actual point of the key itself was.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a classic. It's a classic. You can't leave it off. Have you seen? Speaking of this, we're on Saw 1. Have you seen the thing where somebody has zoomed in on the cell phone because one of them has a cell phone? And they're trying to call, and they check like when they have their phone, before they flip their phone up, it shows, it's one of the old phones, so it shows the date on the phone before they open it. Have you seen the thing?
Like something like right before 9/11 or something?
It's September 10th, 2001 is the day that they're in the bathroom. And somebody was like, boy, these guys are not going to have a good time tomorrow either. I was like, oh my God. It's like, how do you, like, wow. Can you imagine going through that and the next day?
I'm alive. I'm missing a leg, but I made it out. A second plane has crashed into the Twin Towers. You're like, oh my god!
What the hell is going on?
Oh my god!
But yeah. Plus, we get this. I love this because this also sets up. We get the awesome Dr. Gordon character who later on becomes an apprentice, sort of. I guess.
Yeah.
He does become an apprentice. Yeah.
It's kind of strange too, because like, I like that he's
cool
also referenced.
Too.
Well, I mean, like Dr. Gordon himself. I like that he's kind of referenced throughout other things in the franchise too.
Yep.
Like in Saw 3, Lynn's one of the other doctors that in the same hospital was Gordon.
Yep.
He shows up in 7. Something to do, I think, in Saw 4 also deals with like mentions Gordon.
Yeah.
Something to do with like one of the lawyers, I think.
That's
so like bits and pieces, or they even reference him in Saw 6 when he's like, "Oh yeah, Dr. Gordon isn't that great of a doctor, or whatever. There's this new experimental treatment that I could go and do."
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like a lot of like reference.
That's
I like that
why
they keep
I love
it prevalent.
That's why I love this franchise so much and why I defend it, because people can easily look at it and be like, "Oh my god, there's like 10 films. This is ridiculous." And like, yeah, it's a lot. But this is like the franchise that I don't know how they do it, but they somehow managed to make everything come full circle and make sense and fit in with everything. Every movie connects and makes sense.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Especially like when it's something that you don't even think about. Like, let's say when you're watching like Saw 3, you're like, "What the heck was in that that folder that Amanda was reading?"
Yeah, then you find out.
And you don't find out till like Saw 5, I think actually is when you like find out what Hoffman even put in the folder. You find out it's Hoffman, but you don't find out what is in the folder until like Saw 5.
Yep.
And it's ridiculous.
You're like, "Oh, remember that folder from Saw 3?" It's like, maybe.
Yeah, I think there was a folder.
There was a folder.
What folder?
Yeah, so that's my number 10, the bathroom trap.
And that was my number 9, so I guess I would just bounce it back to you and we'll be your number 9 there.
Okay, so my number 9 is interesting, and it has actually I've got a little bit of trivia for my number 9. My number 9 is from Saw 6, and it was set up by John and Detective Hoffman, and it's the pound of flesh trap between the two debt collectors who. Yeah, great so like trap. So basically the way it's set up is they have this thing on their head where if the timer goes off, these screws will screw into their brain and kill them. They have to there's a scale in the middle of the room, and whoever sacrifices the most flesh wins. And the one dude on one side he's overweight, and so he has like a lot more flesh than the other woman, and so he's just cutting off these like big ass pieces of his fucking flesh and dropping them, and you're thinking, oh man, this girl is screwed. And nope, she just says fuck it, and near the end she just grabs grabs some stuff, wraps it around her arm, takes a meat cleaver and fucking hacks her arm off and throws it in there, and then immediately tips the scale and wins. And a little trivia about this one, because it's called it's referred to as the pound of flesh trap. So the term pound of flesh is actually a reference to William Shakespeare played the Merchant of Venice. In the play, Shylock is a Jewish moneylender who lends money to his Christian rival Antonio, and he sets the security at a pound of Antonio's flesh from next to his heart. When Antonio ends up going bankrupt, he defaults on his loan, and Shylock demands a pound of flesh. Yep.
Which again has to do with debt collecting. He's here to collect on his debt.
Yeah, which I thought that was. I loved how they did that. How they had two debt collectors, and they have this crap that is literally set up just like that. And one of the reasons I chose it is because it could just seem like a simple thing, but it's like you have to put yourself in their perspective. It's like would you really be able to do it? Like, would you what would you do? Would you start cutting away at your skin, or would you just hack off a fucking limb and be done with it? Yeah. But it is obviously it's survivable.
It absolutely is survivable. Yeah.
It's survivable, and and it fits all my criterias and stuff. It is insane though. After later on, there is because later on in another Saw movie, they end up seeing her. They see her later on, and she's in a support group, and she actually has this one line where she says, where they're talking about what they learned from their uh, from surviving, and she's like, "Well, the best thing I got from mine was handicap parking at the fucking mall." I was like, "Oh damn."
Yeah, which at the same time, it's a nice like telling thing of like, hey, John, you may not be allowed to see it, but your method does not work like you thought it would. Like, sure,
Yeah,
it helped out maybe some people, maybe it corrupted others, or maybe it didn't. If some people just didn't learn a lesson.
I would say it corrupted almost everybody that survives, besides like her, obviously, unless you're emotionally scarred, from obviously physical trauma and all the
Yeah.
trauma. You most of the other ones become apprentices.
I
So it
think
fucks them up.
because I think like the only two that don't really become apprentices per se, but are still part of that support group, was the only two survivors from Saw 5.
Yeah, the son and mom.
No, 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 no.
No. Who?
The people that were all supposed to work as a team in Saw 5, the only two
Oh
survivors are the
yeah,
ones
yeah.
that like they legit split their
Oh,
entire arm all the way up to like the
oh
elbow.
yeah. That fucking dude.
Like they were kind of
Yeah.
like there, but I don't think I think they
I
kind
don't
of
think.
because you know what
Yeah.
they learned their lesson during the game,
Yeah.
which we'll get to because it's also on my list somewhere.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about
So,
that a little bit
so
more.
yeah. So number 9 was Pound of Flesh Trap from Saw 6.
That's
for
a
me.
great trap. I love that trap. I love the simplicity of it as well, where it's just
Yeah.
like simple machine, cut something off of yourself to even the scales
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Simple yet effective.
Which at the same time, I love that it goes back to that old saying too. It's you want to get out of the situation, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. In this case, it cost her an arm,
It calls for an arm. Yep.
which I liked. But anyway, number 8 for me, simple trap. So scary when I first saw this, the Venus flytrap from Saw 2.
Oh, nice.
I love this trap. I love how simplistic it is, because again, it's very simple. It's just like one thing strapped to this dude's chest that will just compress and literally close on his face like a Venus flytrap.
Yeah, I think I have that on my honorable mentions. The
Okay.
death mask. Yeah.
And it's one of those things where like, okay, the dude was like, well, I think he was like a paparazzi or like a snitch or something, and he was like, he relied on his eyesight. He was like,
Yeah.
kind of like that.
Yeah.
So
So like one of his eyes is like pretty much done for, and there's a key behind there.
he literally
he
has to
has
take
to,
out his eye
Yeah.
to get to the key, so it's one of those things where like, first of all, it ties in very much with like what the lesson is of like, like using your sight to do good, like see things and like report bad things. Don't just like ruin other people's lives by what you see or what you witness and like sharing it with everybody.
Yeah.
And also down to, would you be willing to go that far as to blind yourself to survive?
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn. And then again, it even harkens back when you watch the end of Saw 7. You're like, oh shit, that was Dr. Gordon that put the key in there.
Yep.
They're like, that's even cooler.
Yep.
So like, but yeah, I thought that was a great trap. Especially, I love the way he's like, let me give you a hint, and it's just an X-ray of like a skull with a key in the eye socket.
I love the
so
little,
funny.
I love the little like obvious hints he gives.
It's like, let me give you a hint. Beep. Okay, there's your hint.
It's like shit.
Fuck, I blinked. I'm sorry. Can you play that again?
I'll play that again, please.
Which isn't it funny? Because didn't they make a joke about that in like Scary Movie 4
I think
with
so.
like the same trap on?
Yeah. There's also if you ever seen it, there's a YouTube video where it's like if living with Jigsaw, and it's like this dude's roommates with Billy the puppet.
Oh no.
And it's just like he's like constantly like just trying to do like everyday things. It's like there was one like he was trying to go to the bathroom, and all of a sudden Billy the puppet's just sitting on the bathtub, and it's like you're trying to go to the toilet. Oh, but there's a bunch of mouse traps on the floor. But and also and he sets it up to where it's like, and also this happens and this happens, and if this happens, then it's going to cause the toilet to overflow, and then all your electronic devices. And then he like hides, he feeds his dog his car keys, and he's like he feeds his dog his car keys, and he's like, all right, oh no, you're late for work. Where are your car keys? And it's like, I'll tell you where. It's in your best friend. It's like, will you cut your best friend up to get your car keys so you're not late for work for the fourth time this week? It's
terrible.
Like, God damn it.
That's terrible. Jesus, I love that. I mean, you have to send me that video. I need to see that.
I'll send you on bed. They're funny as hell.
But yeah, no, I really enjoyed the trap. I thought it was really well executed in terms of like how you like the creation of it, the design of it was really cool. Because it also reminds me of like an Iron Maiden.
Yeah,
from, medieval times,
Yep. And it looked really awesome when it went off when he didn't survive.
And that just goes shot. You're like, oh god.
Yep. You're like, oh shit.
Poor dude.
Yep. And that was your number 8.
That was my number 8.
All right, so my number 8 is from, I think a lot. I have a lot of repeats from the same movies. I think I have a good bit from this one. My number 8 is from Saw 6, and it was set up by John and Detective Hoffman, and it is the shotgun carousel trap. There's a bunch of I think it's like 6 or 8 people.
I think so, yeah.
Or I think it's like 6 people. They're on a carousel. There's a shotgun loaded up, and a person will stop in front of the shotgun, and then there's another person. It's the one guy's trial, and he has to stick his hand on in a thing and basically get hurt in order to lift the shotgun up for it to shoot in the air, or if he doesn't, it's going to shoot them. And so it's basically like a constant, like you have to pretty much plead your case.
Yep. With
this dude, and it's like it's so scary because you know that he can do it twice, so 4 people are going to die. And it's like, can you imagine like being on the carousel and the person in front of you gets picked to not die, and you're like, oh shit, what the fuck? You're just like, it's simple but yet super effective because it's really scary.
Not only that, it's also like just seeing how these people plead their case and how they like literally like yell over each other and just like say, "Oh, don't save him, save me." Yep. And like how they'll even lie. Like some of them are like, "Oh, what about my sick mother?" And the other guy's like, "She doesn't have a sick mom. She's lying. Save me."
Yeah, I think one girl says she's pregnant, and then the other dude's like, "No, she's fucking lying. She's not pregnant," and stuff. And then what's great is like the final dude who doesn't get picked. He's really screams at the guy to look at me.
Look me in the eye when you
kill me. When you kill me.
Not only is it the physical torture, this dude's getting like emotional torture out of it.
And it was just such a well executed scene.
Yeah, it really was.
I loved it.
It was so simple yet complicated at the same time because it's got a lot of moving parts with like the shotgun, the carousel moving, and then you got the guy that's having to like put his thing, like put his hand on the thing to like stop it. So there's a lot going on, but at the end of the day, it's still a very simple idea for a trap.
Yeah, with Saw 6, also in the same with like Saw 3, and I think 4 and 5. They got rid of the whole people have their own people are set up in their own traps. A lot of these are more trials. As somebody else is in charge of your fate.
Yep, and it's always somebody that's related to this main person that's being tested.
Yeah.
Which at the same time, it is kind of like harsh for those people that aren't, that are part of the test. They're not being tested themselves.
Yes.
Because at the same time, that's rough. So that's where I'm like, does that draw the line with murder?
Yeah, I know, because it's
Right.
like,
That's where it's like a kind of a fine line.
yeah, because it's funny because like throughout the series, John is really bad about. He yells at he says a murder is despicable, and he's not for murder at all. But he also doesn't like quite understand that like he's technically killing people.
He's technically
He
killing
he, he,
people.
he he's killed people,
Yep.
and he doesn't see it though.
Yeah, it's very much a skewed view of everything.
It's funny because he gets mad at people who like yell out, who like try to claim he murders people, and it's like, dude, yeah, you fucking murdered somebody.
I will say one of my favorite Kramer lines though is they will have said I have shed innocent blood, but what is blood if not for shedding?
Yeah.
That is
Oh God.
cold blooded. That
He,
is such a
uh,
good line.
he's got some really great fucking lines. He really does, and
Yeah.
it's just like you couldn't do him. You couldn't make him any better unless you have Tobin Bell. Tobin Bell just his voice and just the everything he brings
Yeah.
to the character just as everything.
Yeah, because like I think part of it too is just like the philosophical argument of it. Like he's not
Yeah.
he doesn't just go and put people in traps just because he feels like it. It's because like for him that's
Yeah.
like his higher calling. That's like his destiny to do these things.
Yeah. I mean, this guy literally he he lost his child, and then through depression and trying to kill himself, he ended up surviving something he shouldn't have survived, and realized that his will to live was
Now he
much higher,
relishes his
and
life. Yeah.
so he wants to do this for other people.
Yeah.
He thinks he is, you know, being this
I
is
think he views
therapy.
himself as like a
He's
hero,
helping these people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is really strange. Like I think he's got like a god complex of
he's
like
got
like,
he's got a god complex.
where he's like he
Yeah,
sees himself as this like savior of these people. I just have to test you so you can make it to
yeah,
heaven type of thing. You know.
yeah. No. He does. We do see throughout the series, he does. He does like he does end up he does feel bad in some ways and care for some people, because there are people who are legitimately about to get killed by a trap, and he runs and realizes that he made a mistake and saves them
Like he did in
himself.
Jigsaw at the beginning, because
Yeah,
he messed up the dosages on like the sleeping agent he put for that guy.
yeah,
So he literally said, "Oh, I didn't make the game fair."
yeah, but he didn't make the game fair. But then he also like realizes that that dude just made a mistake on his own
Yeah,
and stuff. But then there's also like some he's done in one of the honorable mentions I have. It might be even on your list, but I won't say it. But one of the traps he sets up, one of the person he sets up, it's like when you find out like why he's in there, you're kind of like, dude, kind of I don't know. It's like he didn't. That was kind of an accident. You really shouldn't be punishing him so harshly.
I think I know what you're talking about, and I'm pretty sure it's on my list if I believe
Yeah.
if I'm thinking of what you're saying.
Okay. So
but
anyway, yeah, number 8 was the shotgun carousel
very
trap
cool, very
in Saw
cool.
6.
So my number 7 from Saw 4. This one was done by, I believe it was I think it was John and Hoffman, or actually I think it might have been Hoffman himself.
Okay.
But that's the Scalper from Saw 4.
Oh, so the scalper is in my honorable
The
mentions.
Scalper, oh, just like thinking about the Scalper, it
Yes.
hurts me.
Yeah, this trap was interesting because not only is it the trap, but there's also a twist to it where the person getting scalped is having to, get if they get rescued, they're
They have
supposed
to
to
kill their
kill
rescuer.
the person who rescues them.
Yeah. But which is, yeah, it's honestly one of my favorite traps just from that specific movie, because I'm not the biggest fan of Saw 4. I think
Yeah.
it's like way bottom at the list of like my top Saw films. I'm not a fan of Saw 4, honestly.
I don't think I have. Let's see.
Because like
I have
I feel like
two
soft.
traps
Mhm.
that are honorable mentions from Saw 4. None from Saw 4 made my list for best traps, but I will say Saw 4 does have some interesting traps.
Yeah, I feel like
I
just like
think,
the trial was just kind of hard to understand. I think
yeah,
until up at the end when you actually get what they're trying
yeah,
to do.
and I also think like the person that was doing the trial was just not likable.
Riggs was not likable.
Yeah, and you're just kind of like, oh, I don't even
And
give a
it's like
shit,
this
dude.
dude just does not learn a lesson. Like he has been told
Just
this
fucking
multiple
die.
times and he did not learn.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, just stop and think.
Yeah, it's like literally his whole like big thing was that he cared more about wanting to work than he did about his family. And like, there's even a part where uh there's even a picture of his wife, and it says "Go home," but the motherfucker just continues on
Yeah.
instead.
And not only that, like the whole thing too is like you can't save everybody.
Yeah,
Like that was
yeah,
supposed to be the
yeah.
big
He wants to
test.
save
That
everybody.
was
Yeah,
supposed to be the big test, and I'm like, I didn't get that at all until the end of the movie.
yeah. Oh, yeah. With the scalping trap, like that's interesting. Like that's fucking. Oh god, that was
Just like
scary as shit.
yeah, because okay, so for those of you that don't know, the scalping trap is they have a woman set up on this chair, and her hair is put through this like little hoop, and then it's tied into these gears. When the trap activates, those gears twist, pulling her hair so hard that it literally is scalping her,
Yeah.
and it is
Oh
ouch.
god, it's fucking
It's
terrifying.
so
Yeah.
ouch.
I can't. It's just scary to even think about. But also, you're also like as the person trying to get it. Like there's numbers on some gears, and it's like you're trying to figure that out. But also, he's like, you think you would figure out a way to at least cut her hair
Yeah,
and get her
right.
out of there.
Yeah, you use
It's like
anything, cut her hair
it's
off.
like he shoots the machine and it gets kind of angry and starts going faster. I don't know if it'd work, but like, why didn't he like shoot her hair? Like
I don't know.
like the part that's being pulled. Like
Yeah,
that's
just like
I would
or
yeah
Riggs just goes like full commando, and just starts like karate chopping her hair until it just
yeah
rips out.
I know it's like wow
Yeah, that is like the
yeah
only
that was
drawback. But in
fucking
terms of
scary.
like the overall like feeling of that trap, and just like how horrible it would be to be in that trap, ooh, I don't like it.
Mm-mm,
It
mm-mm.
hoits, it hoits.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh god, it was
that's my
bad.
number 7.
Number 7, okay. So my number 7 is a more recent trap, and uh, it, uh, it just had a really cool effect for me, and I love the way it was set up, and it's uh, I guess it unfortunately falls under the unwinnable traps, and so this one was set up by Logan. This is from Jigsaw. This is the laser collar trap, and it's the ending trap. It's so sick because it's like you're sitting there watching it, and you see it go after Logan, and he doesn't get it. The lasers hit him. Blood spurts up everywhere, and he drops down to the floor. And you're like, "Oh shit! Well, Logan's dead." And this other guy's over here doing it, and he's confessing. And then his laser's cut off, and he's like, "Oh, okay, good, thank." And then you look up. He looks up. He notices that his lasers have cut into the floor, into the ceiling because they're real lasers. And that's the point when he looks over at the other at Logan's, and there's nothing on the ceiling. They didn't cut into the ceiling. And then fucking Logan stands up. The lasers
Yo.
activate again, and he just simply turns them, pulls them down, and then like, because the dude's screaming about Jigsaw, and he's like, "I am him," and you find out Logan's been Jigsaw this entire time in this movie.
Yep.
He was apparently Jigsaw's secret apprentice
The first
from the
ever
very
apprentice.
beginning, from even before Amanda. This dude was the dude who was sleeping and ended up. You think he died at the beginning because he didn't wake up in time, but no, this is the one where Jigsaw thought where John realized that he messed up and put too much sleep and stuff in him,
Yep.
and so it wasn't fair. So he saves him. This guy is also the guy who he was he worked at the hospital, and he accidentally made a mistake and mixed up X-rays, and they didn't catch John's cancer in time.
Yeah.
But John realizes that he made a mistake, and so that's when he takes him on as an apprentice, and he ends up saving him from the trap and brings him on as an apprentice. And
not only that, they also build the reverse bear trap together.
Yeah, they built that one together. So like the original reverse bear trap was done by him and Logan. But yeah, this is like, it's so effective because then when after this the big reveal happens, the other guy's lasers activate again and they cut him, and holy goddamn, he falls down, and the motherfucker, it looks like the fucking Demogorgon from Stranger Things, but that's his head. His head just blossoms into like, it's so sick. It is the coolest fucking kill ever.
Yo.
And I thought about putting it higher, but I have other stuff in there higher. But yeah, that was my number 7. I actually thoroughly loved Jigsaw. And what I liked about Jigsaw was that it felt like a really even though it wasn't a reboot, it felt like a reboot because it had a cooler look to it, like a more modern day look to it and everything. But it still kept everything, the aspects of Jigsaw. And what was cool was, they kept finding evidence of John Kramer, and they even go to his grave, and he's not there. And I was honestly in the theater, I was like,
is he actually alive?
Did he fucking survive? It's like, what the fuck is going on here? But yeah, it was insane.
Yeah,
I highly recommend Jigsaw. It's on Prime right now.
It is on Prime, yeah. Not to mention like the overall second twist, which is like the game that you've been following the entire time is actually like one of John's first ever games, and that was like 10 years ago, if not older.
You're watching a flashback, yeah, and you can tell because everybody's wearing hoodies and backwards cap.
Oh yeah, every single person in this movie is wearing a hoodie and a backwards cap.
Should have been a dead giveaway right there.
Can you imagine if that actually was what happened in the game? That's how like that one of those little things that like tells
imagine the start of it when they all have the buckets on their head, and but there's a backwards cap
on the bucket.
God damn it!
That'd be great.
Oh, all right. So anyway, my number 7, laser collar trap from Jigsaw, and it was and that was set up by Logan, who's the newest apprentice,
but also the oldest.
The oldest, but also he's still there. So
right now, apprentice wise, it would be him and Gordon.
Yeah, him and Gordon are still alive. So if they ever like actually finally do a sequel, not
maybe part of it
in between film movie
like Spiral,
maybe they'll come back. Yeah. So yeah, let's hear your number 7.
All right, or number 6 in this case, right?
Is it?
Yeah, number 6. Yeah.
Okay.
I said it 7 first. Okay. So my number 6 is Jeff's Game from Saw 3.
Okay.
Jeff's Game in the entire, it's like the game that takes over the entire runtime of Saw 3. It's the one where this guy that his son was hit by a drunk driver, and it was a hit and run, I believe. And the guy that committed the manslaughter got away on a technicality.
Yeah.
And this dude was like, it's so unfair. He was plotting to kill this man in cold blood.
Yeah.
But now, because he's like so caught up in his son's death, like he just can't get past this. So like to the point where he's neglecting his wife and he's neglecting his own daughter. So you're like, damn, okay, interesting. This is one of those things where like, okay, value your life.
Yeah.
So the whole thing about this is literally having Jeff come face to face with everything that had to do with the case of his son's death and learning forgiveness.
Yeah.
So he's got to deal with a woman that would have been a key witness in the trial, but she refused to testify.
Yep.
Which is what led to the guy getting out on a technicality. The judge presiding over the case.
Yep.
And also the killer himself, like the guy that killed his son.
Yeah. And the guy who killed his son, he legitimately feels awful about it, and it was a complete accident. Mm-hmm. And that's why I didn't put that trap in my top 10, because I didn't feel that he deserved that. I don't think he should have been in there.
Okay. Yeah, for me, it was definitely one of those
Yeah,
like
because
fine
his
line
trap
things.
his trap is called
The rack.
the rack, and it's fucking brutal.
It is really brutal.
Probably one of the most brutal traps ever. I
Yup.
mean, Jigsaw even says all over the thing, "It's my favorite
And
trap
he
I've ever
laughs at that one too.
done."
That's how you know he's like
Yeah,
twisted up.
yeah,
Because he's like,
which is
This
weird
is my
because he's like,
personal favorite."
"This is my personal favorite." Because it's weird. It's weird because he's like, 'cause, he's also the same man. It's like murder is despicable.
This
That
is my
disgusts
favorite
me.
burger trap.
John Kramer, he's a weird individual.
He's a multifaceted individual.
Yeah,
But yeah, I like the overall like message of this one. I think that's why I really put it up here because of the whole thing
okay.
of like having to force this man
Oh,
to
you
deal with his grief.
yeah.
It's
So you're putting his entire thing for your number
for
6.
my number 6, yeah.
Okay, see that's interesting because my number 6 is the pig vat trap from Saw 3, and uh, and it's not necessarily the aspect of the trap of like the pig vat. Like what it is like the judge. The judge who gave who got the guy off on a technicality, uh, he he's like basically tied down at the end of the he's strapped down at the end of a vat by his neck, and there's these all these saw blades above him, and these dead pigs are being dropped in one by one,
And not only that, they're
and
like
just
disgusting, like
yeah, they're like
rancid dead
disgusting.
pigs.
They're like covered in maggots and shit, and they're dropped down the blades, and once they're done with the blades, they're pretty much just a pool of liquid, and they're being poured onto this man, so he's pretty much going to be suffocated
And
in
dead
this
pigs, blood
dead
and
pig
guts.
awful shit. And Jeff has to. This is the part. This is why I put it in my top in my 6 is because of and not. I mean, the physical aspect of it. Yeah, that's disgusting. That'd be an awful way to die. But I think the emotional aspect of this is so heartbreaking because Jeff has to burn all of his son's possessions.
Just
It's
to get
like,
the
can
key.
you imagine being a parent and having to like burn your son's possessions to get the key to free the man because you're having to choose between burning your kid's possessions, your memories of your kid, or living with the guilt of you killing a man.
Which at the
Basically,
same time, it's what's one of the things I liked about the entire game is that it's multifaceted still. Because
yeah,
whichever keys that Jeff needed to get, they wouldn't necessarily just save that person. He could use them to open the door to the next room and just still leave
yeah,
that person there. So it was still up to Jeff to decide to forgive them or not.
yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
interesting because you see Jeff actually do make the effort a little bit, but there are moments where he just does not care.
yeah, oh, I know.
Like the poor woman in the freezer.
Yeah, 'cause,
Like
that's my thing.
way
Like,
too late did he decide that it was like, okay,
like
maybe I should save her.
yeah, like I love Saw 3, but I don't necessarily like Jeff. And one of the reasons I don't like Jeff is this dude just walks so goddamn slow, and it's like he gives no
I will
shits.
give you that. I will give you that.
I'm just like, dude, can you hurry the fuck up? Like, what the hell is your problem?
Yeah. Well, the thing.
It's like I understand why he did it in this one. Like he literally like it's like he slowly walks down the stairs to burn his son's possession while the fucking judge
Judge
is
is like,
just
please
being,
help me. I'm dying
I'm
here
fucking drowning over
in
here.
pig's guts. Yeah, but like I think the other reason that I put the entire game on there is because of the end of it. When you find
Yeah.
out that the kind of like what you think is the B plot combines into the A plot of like, oh
Yeah.
shit, the doctor that John's had as a hostage his entire time is Jeff's wife.
Yes, Jeff's wife.
And not only that, Amanda just shot her.
Yeah.
So this
And-
dude is really being put on the spot. It's like, do you choose revenge or do you choose forgiveness?
Yeah. And obviously he chooses wrong because he takes a saw blade and he cuts John's throat, even though John's pretty much already dead anyway.
Exactly. And he says it too. It's like,
He's
hey, I'm
gonna
already
die
a
anyway.
dead man. Like, just release your wife
Yeah.
and you'll be free to go.
Yeah, because like, and what was great about Saw 3 is like, so Jeff's wife has a shotgun collar attached to her head, and all this is insane because it's attached to John's heartbeat. If John's heartbeat goes to zero,
The
that shotgun collar
shoots.
blows his wife's head off. And it's like Jeff doesn't know that, so it's just like this whole insane fucking domino effect of Amanda shooting Lynn, and then Jeff shooting Amanda, Jeff shooting Amanda, and then Jeff killing John,
which then kills Lynn,
which then kills his wife.
It also leaves his daughter trapped.
Yeah,
because they also kidnapped the daughter.
Yeah. John Kramer also kidnaps the kids because even though John thinks murders are despicable,
he's okay with
kidnapping. So he does that, and he has no idea where the kids are.
Exactly, and that's so wild to me too, because like there's so much that could have been avoided, but Lynn couldn't speak because of her gunshot wound.
Yeah.
So she literally is like trying, Jeff, don't kill him.
Yeah.
And he does it anyway, and I'm like,
and we don't find out till later on that one of the reasons why Amanda shoots Lynn is because the fucking Detective Hoffman was also there, and
pulling the strings too.
Yeah, this motherfucker just goes through a wall before the other people enter the room.
Because that's also when you find out that, at least in Saw 5, is you find out that Amanda feels responsible because Hoffman knows that she's partly responsible for the death of Gideon, which was John's soon-to-be son.
Yeah,
because she's the one that told Cecil, go get me drugs from the clinic.
It's insane, and
it's just like it's like Game of Thrones almost.
It's I think that's one of the things that like draws me into Saw. Besides how great, besides the awesome traps and stuff, it's like a really cool soap opera.
A really bloody, gory, violent soap opera
is insanely soap opera.
It's like a soap opera meets a cop procedural.
Yeah, because like you're literally watching it, you're like, oh my god, that's his wife this whole time. I thought he was with this guy.
Sauce of our lives.
It's like it's so fucking insane.
General Saucepital.
And also, while this is all going on, John Kramer also covers a tape in wax and swallows it. And fucking swallows it, and that's a tape that Hoffman finds later for Saw 4.
Putting an insurance policy. He's like, I know we're gonna get a hit with this. This is already teasing Saw 4 for you.
It's so insane. All the shit that goes on, and this is another one of the downfalls of Amanda. Amanda literally like sees John being more friendly with Lynn, and she gets jealous, and that's like one of the reasons
that's the downfall.
Why she
gets possessive,
awfully jealousy. Yeah.
At the same time, though, you got to give major props to Shawnee Smith as Amanda. She's so good as this character.
Yeah. Oh.
But yeah, like that whole overall game and how it ends and like how it all ties into the other part of the story is really like what gets me. Like the whole thing of like dealing with that trauma, coming to terms with grief, and not only that, dealing with forgiveness.
Yep.
I like that it was like multiple lessons into like one game.
Yep. So my number 6 was the pig vat trap from Saw 3, and that was set up by John.
And I guess Hoffman, because Hoffman's the only one that could have lifted those pigs.
I think so. Yeah, probably. That's probably Hoffman too.
Yeah.
It's just on the as far as like I did research on who set up what traps as well, and it just said John Kramer for the pig vat trap. Yeah.
Might have just been him, and then I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting. But anyway, so you said that was your number 6, right?
Yeah. Oh, now we're in a top 5.
Top 5. So my number 5 is another whole entire movie-length game, and that is the team game from Saw 5.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I really enjoyed that, especially because right off the bat, Jigsaw says, I implore you to do the opposite of your nature.
Yep.
And immediately these people, they show you these people are extremely selfish. and they don't see that is like that is just who they are, so they need to do the opposite of that. They need to help each other.
Yep.
And I love when they realize that. They're like, oh shit.
I love as an audience
Fucked
when I'm
up.
watching it when I realize and
They're
I
like,
looked and I noticed that there's 5 slots and I was like, they were all
supposed to live.
supposed to survive. That's insane.
Especially when they're like talking about it, or like, oh shit, that that little tunnel where the bombs went off, we all could have fit there. If we had all used the bathtub together, we only would have gotten a small shock. Nobody had to die, type of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that realization is what gets me. Where you're like, oh shit,
Yep.
you done fucked it up.
It's like, oh well, now you got to saw your arm pretty much in
Up to the
half,
elbow.
up to the elbow.
And not just like, yeah, and it's like split it down the middle half too.
He splits it down. That part killed me in the theaters when I saw him doing that, and then he pulled out his arm and it just falls
and it's just like
apart. I was like, oh my god, what the fuck?
Yo. Yep. Like, I will never ever get over like how deceptively simple that trap, like that whole game was.
Yeah, like literally all they had to do was like cut just a little bit.
Well, not only that, just the whole entire game, all they had to do was like figure out, it's like, hey,
yeah,
we fit here together. Like,
yeah, because I think it was the keys. All the keys fit each. One key would fit each lock. They would easily just be able to throw it.
Yeah,
give it to everybody. It's just,
and
it's so. I love how they do
tunnels. That. They all could have used the electric shock off the thing. So yeah, it was wild how they were so incredibly selfish to the point where they would sacrifice other people just to get ahead.
Yep.
And then it comes back and bites him in the ass, or in this case, splits him in the arm.
Yep.
And I'm just like, wow. Which at the same time, now that I think about it, this is a really easy way they could have won that trap. Oh wait, no, never mind. Because I said the exact same thing when I saw the movie recently, and I was like, oh, to like win that trap, they could have just gone back, chopped one of the other girl's arms off, and like feed it through, but the door closes automatically when they would go into the room.
Yeah.
And I completely, I was like, wait, that's so smart. Wait, that's not gonna work. As he closes, he thought of that. Damn it, Jigsaw, you thought of that too. You're so smart.
Yeah, he's so smart. God damn it.
You genius.
Yeah, there's no way.
You sick bastard.
Yep. So, for my number 5, I'm going to Saw 3D, and this was set up by Detective Hoffman, and I'm going with the horsepower trap. And
horsepower.
It not only is just a really cool trap, this one also is the features the late Chester Bennington is in this movie.
Yep.
And he's in it, and it's so insane how it's set up. It's like he is glued.
It's a Rube Goldberg trap.
Yeah, he's glued to the seat of this car that is also chained.
It's like
that has
slightly raised. Yeah.
That's slightly raised with his girlfriend under the tire. So basically, if he fucks up, then his car is going to drop and destroy her head. There's also a chain attached to a friend of his that's attached to his arms and his lower jaw. And this dude has like 60 seconds to basically rip himself from his seat.
Isn't there also another guy like trapped in front of the wall to the garage?
Oh yeah,
Or,
yeah. There's another guy to the wall. Yeah, there's another guy on the wall too. And he has to like peel himself from the seat. And I'm not talking about like just regular glue. I'm talking like this is like
industrial,
your skin's going to rip straight off.
Yep. To the point where like at the end you can see like muscle fibers and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
even, like part of the bone.
Honestly, he should have just fuck it and just one swell whoop. Yeah, just real quick because this wasn't one that was set up to be unwinnable. You could have won it.
Yep. Because all you had to do was like peel up, and wasn't it just like turn the car off or something?
I think it was either that or like I pressed the tape in or something. It was something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It was real simple. Well,
But it was also
as simple as it could be.
Extremely difficult in terms of like the physical of it.
Yeah, it's very painful, obviously. Anyway, he doesn't get there in time. Car drops. Girlfriend's head goes splat. Car speeds off, runs straight into the garage, killing that dude, and then rips the arm and lower jaw of the friend off, and then hits the wall, and then Chester gets swung out of it through the windshield, so obviously dies from that anyway. But it's so fucking insane. I just love that Chester. I think that was like the coolest thing for me in theaters when I saw that. I was like, "Holy shit, it's Chester Bennington!" Like, I wonder, what even what do we did he just I want to be a Saw movie?
Well, apparently, from what I saw or read about it, apparently he was a fan of the franchise.
Yeah,
and he wanted to be in it. And I think there were originally going to be plans for them to make a song for the movie too.
Oh, dude, if Linkin Park would have made a fucking Saw movie.
Yeah, but I don't. I think they never got around to be able to nail down the lyrics and the music before the movie came out and stuff.
Dude, that would have been sick.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. Like, holy shit, a Linkin Park song to Saw 7.
Hell yeah,
love it. Yeah,
that's Saw really great 7 track. Or Saw 3D as it's called.
Yeah.
Really fucked up titles.
Yeah, it's a wild trap. It's not in my list, but it's in my honorable mentions.
Okay, nice.
But I love the trap.
I love how
it's actually my favorite trap from Saw 3D.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice.
The Saw 3D doesn't really have a whole lot of traps, honestly.
They really don't, yeah. But the ones they do have is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love how so far we haven't had a single thing that's been, except for maybe technically 6, because I had the pig vat trap and you had the whole game.
Oh, yeah.
So far, we've been pretty different on our list.
Yeah. Which is good.
Yep.
So,
all right, let's hear your number 4.
My number 4, from Saw 5 as well. This one is one of the ones that you could not escape. But at the same time, I love the design of it. That is The Pit and the Pendulum, which is the opening trap to Saw 5.
Oh, yeah.
I love the Edgar Allan Poe reference to it.
Yep.
I absolutely love that. I just love the design of this trap, and it's just, so terrifying. It's one of those things where I'm just like, dude, just suck it in, just survive at least, a couple more swings. Suck it in.
Especially the, when you hear the sound of it.
Oof, yeah.
God.
Sliding, just oh, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the whole idea of this trap is I believe this character's name was Seth. I think it was Seth Baxter.
Yeah, Seth Baxter. Yeah.
So you don't know this until later on in the film, but you think, oh, it's just a regular jigsaw trap at first. He's got I think it's because he killed his wife.
Seth killed Detective Hoffman's sister.
Yeah, we don't know about that just yet. We just know it's you abused your wife to the point where you killed her.
Yeah.
And I think it was also a whole technicality thing where he didn't go to prison for a technicality.
Yeah.
So you're trapped in here for this pendulum with a razor sharp blade is going to be swinging back and forth. Easiest thing you got to do is push your hand on this thing and it'll crush your hands together. It'll literally just crush and break your hands.
Yeah.
And you'll be free to go. Except when he does it, he's not free to go.
Nope.
Nothing happens.
But it just keeps going lower.
Yep, to the point where it completely bisects him and cuts him in half.
Yep.
And it is so awesome. Especially one tiny bit of the scene where part of his gut flies into a window and just hits the plastic on a window. And it's revealed later on that it was actually not a jigsaw trap, it was a Hoffman trap made to look like a jigsaw trap so he could get away with the murder because Seth's wife was his sister.
Yeah. And this is before Hoffman becomes a Jigsaw Apprentice. This is actually
what leads to him being.
This is what leads to him becoming Jigsaw Apprentice because John figures out who it is, and
says, "Listen, you
ends up
motherfucker,
kidnapping him in an elevator."
and you will not take credit for my shit.
Yeah, he puts them in this really stupid trap.
It's a very simple trap too.
It's just he's on a chair and there's a shotgun under his head, but then John just lets him free to go in order to be his apprentice.
Yeah, I need to know what is John Kramer's thing with shotguns. There's a lot of stuff dealing with shotguns in these movies. A
lot of shotguns. Because I guess maybe he thinks that they're more effective than anything else.
Could be because you've got this shotgun hallway in the first Saw.
The shotgun hallway.
You got this thing. You got the shotgun carousel.
Also, that was straight up fucking murder.
It was murder. It was murder.
I don't see how unless he's just thinking he didn't pull the trigger.
The string pulled the trigger.
Yeah. He's like, I didn't kill those people. Those guns did it.
He's one of those guys. Yeah, I don't kill people. Guns kill people.
Yeah, it's John Kramer.
Jesus.
God. Damn.
But yeah, that was my number. That was my number 4.
I didn't even think to put that in my anything because once again it was just an unwinnable trap. But it looked cool as shit, though.
Yeah, I thought it was. In terms of like overall design, it was really cool.
And Hoffman watches the whole thing.
And the fact that he watches the whole thing and he's like enjoying it too. You're like, oof, this dude's
Yep.
So he's a little twisted, that one. So he's a little dirty cop, that one.
Yep. So my number 4 also comes from Saw 5, and it's one I already talked about in another thing, but it's the glass coffin. This was set up by Hoffman and John. John actually originally created the glass coffin.
Yep. So I remember. I think it shows up in like Saw 4. I think in a flashback sequence.
Yeah, it's in a flashback sequence. Yeah. Yeah, and this is one of the coolest things ever. Detective Strom, it's supposed to be for Detective Strom, and he's just supposed to listen to the tape, but he ends up fighting off Hoffman and throwing him in the glass thing, and the glass coffin, and not listen to the whole tape. And the coffin shuts, and then it starts lowering into the ground, and then the room starts caving in until it crushes.
Like the friggin' trash compactor from Star Wars.
Yeah, until there's just nothing less of Strom except for blood splatter on the coffin lid, and that's one of my favorite visuals ever. Is just when Hoffman's just in the glass in the coffin, just looking up, and it's all see through, and you see the blood splattering, and he's just got that smile on his face.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that all that's left is a hand that Hoffman then uses to like implicate Strom and like all the other Saw murders.
Yep, it's fucking insane.
Dude,
Hoffman is just on another level.
But yeah, the glass coffin is a badass trap. It's again, very, very simple trap. All you have to do is listen to the tape, and you would have won, and Strom would still be alive.
Yeah, like literally the worst you deal with the glass coffin is the ice. It's just a little bit of cold. Oh no.
Was it ice? I thought that was actually glass.
Oh, was it glass?
I thought it was glass, because I'm like,
I thought it was ice.
So I was like, that ice would have melted by now.
I thought it was ice, because I thought that it was ice, and the reason it's called the glass coffin because it's all see-through.
So I thought it was just like pieces of glass, but I don't know.
It could be pieces of glass. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess like my whole thing was like I feel like that would have melted already if it was ice.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe like the little tubes that were on it were just like freezer tubes that were keeping it cold.
That's what it is. Yeah. Turns out John Kramer is also Mr. Freeze.
But then, like the moment those tubes come off, it just starts melting. So like you walk out, you're just like soaked in your like all the way through your back. I've been watching. It's like, God damn it! I knew I should have put glass instead of ice in there. He calls it a glass coffin, but he doesn't put glass in there.
Oh my god!
God damn it! Hoffman is now played by Tom Atkins.
That's what we need. We need Tom Atkins in a Saw movie.
Oh my god! So
that he can just like be in the trap, and then he finally understands it, but he doesn't get there in time. He's like, God damn it!
Dies. I didn't get there in time. God damn it! I learned my lesson.
God. All right, what's your number 3?
Number 3. You're gonna hate me for this one.
Uh-oh.
Number 3 is the Rack from Saw 3.
Oh wow!
It is so horribly twisted and disgusting,
Yes,
and I
it is.
love it.
God, it's so bad.
It is so mean spirited, and it's just so like cringe, but not like, oh, that's kind of cringe, but like cringe isn't like, oh, I cannot imagine having to go through that. Because this trap literally twists your appendages until they snap.
Yep, even your neck.
Like,
It'll
imagine
turn your
getting
neck all the way around.
Getting an Indian burn so bad that it breaks your arm.
And by break your arm, I mean the bones coming out of
So
your
the
fucking
bone
arm.
coming out.
Yeah.
Or
and your neck's also being twisted around.
Yes, and also your legs being twisted backwards. Like, you literally are twisted backwards. Except for your body, and you're like, holy shit.
It's like, the human body doesn't do that?
Oof.
And just the ending with after going through all that your neck gets twisted all the way around.
Yep. Because at the same time, I feel like there's like no coming back from that. Even if you had saved him, like even like at least like his first 4 appendages, like you still saved him though. There's no coming back from like the amount of damage that was under those bones.
Yeah.
Like, that dude it would have ended up being like quadriplegic.
Yep.
At that point, and just like only be able to like move his head.
Yeah.
So like, damn.
God.
Yeah, that is still, and the fact that what kills me is the fact that he goes out of his way to say this is my personal favorite trap.
I know.
I'm like, dude, that is.
Like,
For me, it's like I think he's like 2 people. He's John, and then he's also Jigsaw.
Yeah, I think Jigsaw took over there.
Holy shit, man! It's, you know what it is. You know that like kind of D-list Batman villain, like the ventriloquist and Scarface. I feel like that's what they are. The ventriloquist is just kind of there. That's John, and then Scarface is Billy the Puppet.
Oh my god!
But also, could you imagine if they chose Tobin Bell and Billy the Puppet as Scarface and the ventriloquist in another Batman movie? Can we please do that?
Yes.
Like, nobody needs any explanation. Just do it.
That's hilarious. Oh.
Robert Pattinson's Batman has to go up against that now.
Yes. I feel like Robert Pattinson's Batman would fit in perfect in the Saw universe.
Oh, he absolutely would.
If Batman had to come in and like try and save them.
Because I feel like this would actually be
it's
like... It's
just dark enough.
This could be like Riddler meets like aspects of the Joker in terms of just like the impossible choices type of thing.
Yeah.
But like the Riddler with like the game aspect of it.
Yeah.
And the puzzle aspect to it. So I'm like, that could be interesting. I'm sure somebody's come up with that. There's got to be a Batman villain that's like very similar to that.
Yeah.
I guess Riddler's the closest one that comes to it.
That's true.
Oh, I would even say like this version, or like the newest version of Riddler, is like the closest we've come to something like that, with even like the video messages and that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
Look at that. Turns out it was that was Jigsaw Jr.
Was.
Dun,
That's
dun,
Gideon.
Dun. That's Gideon.
The Riddler is Gideon. Gideon didn't die. He just became the Riddler.
Plot twist: Satan is actually the next part of the Batman universe.
Oh shit!
Oh my god!
So for my number 3 is going. My number 3 is going back to the OG of them all. Probably the most well-known trap there is. I'm going with Saw 1 Reverse Bear Trap, and that was set up by John and Logan.
Yes,
so we find out.
Yo.
And the Reverse Bear Trap is so iconic in this series. It's shown like 3 times. There's this one. There's one that gets put on Detective Hoffman, and this motherfucker bashes his fucking hand with it, and then jams it through a window to jam it, and then he busts out the back, permanently scarring his face up before it goes off, and then finally, later on in the series, we finally get to see it in full action
against Jill.
On Jill. So we get to see Jigsaw's fucking wife get killed by the
And
reverse
it
bear
is
trap.
nasty looking.
It was worth the wait.
It was worth the wait.
Yeah. It's insane. Like this is like I said, this is a simple yet very simple but effective trap.
Oh yeah,
it's so sick.
It is like that's the one that they used to put on posters after a long time. Like when I wanted to see the thing was like the 10th anniversary, that was what they had on the poster. It was a picture of Amanda with the bear trap on.
Yeah. If you just only could put one trap, picture of one trap to sum up the Saw franchise, it's the reverse bear trap. Always.
To the point where, like, even in the Saw video game that came out for the 360, the first thing you do in that game is escape a reverse bear trap.
Well, I never played that, but I heard it was interesting.
It's not bad. It's actually really good from like the Saw perspective of it. Of like the traps are really well made. The stuff you have to do to solve traps is really cool, but like the game itself plays like garbage.
Yeah.
Because but the traps are like the puzzles and traps are really good. They're definitely fit as part of the Saw universe. Plus, I mean, Tobin Bell does come back to voice Jigsaw in the game, so it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's an iconic trap. It's without a doubt one of the coolest things in horror. Period. So much so that is actually my number 2 pick.
Oh, really? Reverse bear trap?
Reverse bear trap is my number 2.
Nice.
I love the reverse bear trap. I love that it's hinted at here and there.
I'm wondering if we're gonna have the same number 1.
We won't. I can tell you for a fact that we're not. You'll see why in a minute. But yeah, I love the reverse bear trap. I love the idea of it. Just like the fact that it's something that keeps coming back and like you're like waiting for somebody to get used to like to get killed by it, and you finally get that, and it's on Jigsaw's wife.
On Jill, yep.
And not only that, of course, it's in glorious 3D when it happens.
Yep.
And not only that, it's so iconic to the point where, like, hey, by the way, in Jigsaw, you find out John and Logan built it together.
Yeah.
Just even cooler now. Like, it keeps adding to, like, the mythology and, like, the history of this trap.
Yep. Even though we love our backwards cap hoodie, John Kramer, I think it's Jigsaw's version. I like the bald John Kramer with the one like goatee,
like the chin strap,
chin strap thing. I think he looks so fucking
he looks
sadistic and demonic there, and I just love that look for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was your number 2 as well.
That was my number 2.
Okay. Well, then my number 2 is from Jigsaw, and it was set up by John and Logan. Originally John, but Logan does it himself as well. And it's the Bach death spiral trap. This is it's like this. It's really hard to even explain what it is. It's like this gigantic spiral cylinder that's all like, I think they're blades.
Yeah, I think so. It's like a giant blender, essentially.
It's like basically like a blender, yeah. And what it is the person whose trap it is has to be hoisted down into it while it's going, and it has to reach the bottom and grab the brake of a bike that's and this whole trap is being powered by a bike, by a bike engine. And the reason it's set up is because apparently we found out that we find out later on, not this dude, a different guy. He actually sold a bike that had a bad brake line that he knew it was to somebody that gets killed within 10 minutes of driving off, but gets hit by a dump truck because the brakes don't work. And we find out it's actually John's nephew.
Which we had no idea that John had a sister.
Yeah.
Or brother.
So, yeah. So that happens, and when you think everything's fine, and then this shit hits you, and then you see the after effects of what it did to that guy, holy goddamn. It is absolutely fucking sadistic.
Yep.
It's just like, it spits him out, and he's just like, oh man. It doesn't even look human anymore, what comes out.
It's a mess, is what comes out. A
Yeah.
whole mess.
Yeah, I've always loved this trap ever since I saw it. I was like, oh my god, this is insane.
A giant blender.
Yep. So that was my number 2.
All right. Well,
I guess. Hold on. Before we get to number 1,
should we do our honorable mentions?
let's do our honorable mentions. Yeah.
All right.
Just go through them real quick.
All right. So my honorable
What's
mentions.
yours?
I have Horsepower from Saw 3D.
Okay.
Trap is incredibly fun. I have the Angel Trap from Saw 3. I know it's
Okay.
inescapable, but the visual of it is so insanely cool. When that thing opens up and her ribcage opens up with it.
Yep.
Horribly disgusting, but also like just beautiful to look at.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also not the needle pit trap from Saw 2. Because that trap just freaks me out. And also, like, the behind-the-scenes thing that Shawnee Smith was pregnant when they were filming that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, holy shit. That woman is insane.
Is that all yours?
I had one more, and it was the, oh god, what was it called? Shit, I forgot the name of it. But it's like the one from Saw 6 where, they have to hold their breaths.
Oh,
because that makes me panic. That shit would make me panic.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
like it like crushes their like rib cage.
Yeah,
together
it crushes your ribs if you
like,
take a breath.
Yeah,
but that one was not fair at all.
It really was.
The guy they give it to, was a smoker.
It was more, and like there's like no way that guy would have survived that.
Yeah,
but like the overall like idea of the trap was cool. Of like having to try and hold your breath was like. It's already hard enough to do, but like doing it under pressure is even more difficult.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh god, that is like nerve wracking. Yeah, those are my honorable mentions.
That's yours? Okay.
Yeah.
So mine are the needle pit from Saw 2. A death mask from Saw 2, which is the Venus flytrap. The scalping trap from Saw 4.
Wow, I love that most of your honorable mention is like stuff that's in mine.
Yeah, the rack from Saw 3. This one, I don't know if you remember this one, the public execution from Saw 3D.
Where where like the guys have to choose between who's gonna kill her, but then they end up just killing her.
But they end up killing her, because it's like this girl is
manipulating,
messing around with two guys. There's this giant saw blade, and they're having to go back and forth between who gets it, or they can work together and just send it to her and kill her instead. And they both then she fucks up because they both realize that she doesn't love either one of them, and so they just kill her. Together. And they had that really cringy but great line of like, "Hey, whatever. I think we're consider this a breakup," and they just cut her in half.
Yep. Not to mention that later on they also become like apprentices of Gordon.
Yeah,
because they're the other two big faces that help him get Hoffman.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying. Like everybody who wins either is horribly mutilated and have a bad life, or become apprentices. But yeah, like what's also besides how awesome that was. This is also done in public. It's literally in a fucking public, like cube in the middle of a busy ass city. It's like holy shit
or something, yeah.
That one, and then one of my personal favorites, Saw 4. I almost put it on my rankings, but I decided not to. The spike trap from Saw 4, where it puts a husband and a wife. The husband's abusive to his wife, and they have these spikes through them, and they're stuck on the spikes. Except for the catch is the spikes are through all the vital arteries of the husband, but not the wife. Mm-hmm. So she has to choose of pulling them out and killing him, and freeing herself. And she really quickly is like, all right, bet.
Say less.
Nope, and doesn't. So those are my honorable mentions.
Okay. I mean, those are great. These are great traps. Like honestly, there's like very little traps that I would say, oh, those are not great in the Saw franchise.
Yeah.
And honestly, the only one that I would really say, like, is just an overall bad trap, and even then, it's not even that bad, it's the petroleum jelly one.
Oh
When I
yeah.
first saw where the
Yeah.
guy's just like lathered in jelly and he's got to like find the safe thing and he just catches on fire.
Yeah.
And I'm like, outside of that though, everything else is freaking awesome.
I almost put another Saw 1 trap on mine because of
The razor
just
wire maze.
the razor wire maze is so brutal. I was like,
It
oh my
really
god.
is. Again, so simple, but it's so brutal.
Yep. All right. So, what's your number
So,
one?
number one from Saw 6, the shotgun carousel.
Are you serious?
That is my number one.
one?
That is my all-time favorite Saw trap.
Are you serious?
I am
See,
100% serious.
I thought I put it on my like. I thought I would be the only one to have it on there that would even think of that one.
Shotgun carousel is such a twisted trap.
It is.
In terms of just like literally having to, you have to choose who lives and who dies.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can only choose 2 people.
Yeah, out of 6, it's insane.
And all these people are also yelling at you and insulting you for letting them die.
Yep.
Oh, that is so horrible.
And just the ending of that one dude is like, "You killed me.
Look at me.
Look
in
at
the
me
eye.
while you kill me."
Ooh.
God,
Honestly,
it's so
Saw
fucking
6
great.
is so underrated.
It really is.
Saw 6 is such a good, not even a Saw movie, it's such a good movie, period.
Yeah. 'Cause I'm trying to think.
It's talking about the dangers of healthcare.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially because during that time frame, there was like a big crisis going on in the real world as well at the time. Not only
With, like, all these, like, the healthcare
not that it doesn't
stuff.
always happen, but yeah.
But like this is where it became like really, really apparent. So a lot of information came out of like all these like horrible insurance companies like
Yeah.
doing you really shady things to
I
keep
think
money.
that's one of the things I love about Saw 6. Besides that, yeah, like you said, it's very underrated because of that. But also, it just it's also one of the endings where you're like you're happy that's how it ended because you have this mom and son.
Played by Roderick from freaking Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Yeah,
This is why he went on to make Loaded Diaper.
you have them in their whole time, and you're trying to figure out like what their whole thing is, and like it turns out they're not set up in a trap. They're just there to figure out if they want to kill the guy who
They're
sent
his last test.
their dad or their dad, the dad and husband to die because he didn't give him health insurance due to his shitty fucking algorithm of deciding who lives and who dies.
Which I love how they play it off in the beginning because they make it look like, oh, you know, that's his wife and kid.
Yeah,
And it turns out
it's
nope.
nope.
The other person that was, you know, taken was his sister.
Yeah. And it's so great too because the mom's like, "Oh, I can't do it," and it's like, and the son's like, "I can." You killed my dad, you son of a bitch! And then he just sets it, and it's so sick. They have a needle like a trap like come down, pin him up against the wall, and then these syringes, these like needle things are
filled with
hydraulic acid, and he gets burnt from the fucking inside. It is so goddamn insane.
Delightful.
But it's also so great because it's like, wow, they actually like I thought that's what I liked about it so much was the fact that it's like the mother and son were in no danger at all. They were just there to get revenge the whole time,
which was pretty wild because so it's one of those things where you're like, now that you see what you're doing when you tell people, oh, we can't cover you, now is your chance to deal with the consequences of that.
Yep.
Yeah, like that's why I love it, man. Shotgun carousel, like the entire like aspect of the shotgun carousel and Saw 6 in general is very, very good.
I love that. I love that that's your number one because I honestly was like, I think I just put that on my top 10 earlier today. I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I love Shotgun Carousel. I'm putting it on this.
Shotgun Carousel is great.
So my number one, you already mentioned it, but it's just, unfortunately, it is an unwinnable thing. It was set up by Amanda, but it's the Angel Trap from Saw 3, and it's just simply how brutal and the visual of the aftermath.
Because it looks like an angel. It literally looks
like an angel
spreading its wings. It's just
the coolest shit ever.
You know what I
It's
think
just,
also
it's
kills
so
it too?
insane.
The lead up to it with like when Carrie gets kidnapped and she's like looking at
Yeah,
the camera on her own TV and like looking
yeah,
at herself and you're like, oh shit. So
yep,
you got that, and then not only that, you got the realization when she finds out who it is right before
yeah,
she dies.
yep.
Ooh,
She realizes, yep, who it is. Yeah, it's
hardcore,
God. It's so fucking sick.
hardcore trap. Like, there's a reason Saw 3 is my favorite Saw movie, and that is one of those reasons.
Oh, so Saw 3 is your favorite?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think I think Saw 3 would probably be definitely in one of my top three. But like I said, I hate how fucking slow Jeff is, and I don't like Jeff.
Yeah, I'm able to
So
look past it because like I know
he kind
eventually
of
they'll.
ruins it.
Because for
Yeah,
me, they'll eventually cut to Lynn, and like that whole operation scene is like worth it for the price of admission alone for me.
yeah.
When like they literally open up his skull and like relieve the pressure in his brain with like a
Oh
power
yeah, they had the
drill,
whole oh yeah, the operation. I
with a
forgot that was in
power
there.
drill and a sanding disc.
God, that shit was insane.
I'm like Home Depot where you can get operation supplies.
Oh man.
Jeez. And again, the practical effects on that are really good too. Of like her
Yep.
like pulling out like the skull cap and like the brain like pulsating and stuff.
Yep. Yeah, Saw 3 is great.
Amazing.
There's honestly like not even there's not a bad thing in here. I think honestly, I don't know. I think the one I watched the least amount of is probably Saw 2,
Okay.
but it's still not bad. I think
Not at all.
the only trap I don't like in all the franchise because it just it makes me sad because the girl that it happens to doesn't deserve this at all. It's her husband's fault for being a lying piece of shit. Is
Oh, the one of the
the
inside lady.
Brosnan Bull
Yeah.
the Brosnan Bull trap where her husband lied about surviving a jigsaw trap. So then at the end of it, his whole thing is
Yeah, so she do the trap that he said he
he actually has to
survived.
do the trap the way he did it, and the pecs won't hold up with the
Because
hooks.
the gravity is it's honestly it's like physically impossible for him to do.
Yeah, and so obviously he doesn't survive. And then his wife gets burnt a fucking alive.
While he doesn't he get electrocuted too?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah. Love that.
that one was that one was hard. That was
Yeah.
sad. I hated that because she didn't deserve it. She did nothing at all wrong. Uh,
I
I
will
think
say
even
one
though
of the traps is like just like kind of like hard to watch in terms of like the tense nature of it. Also from Saw 3D where he has to like pull like the guy has to pull the fish wire with the
oh
key
yeah
out of
yeah
that woman's like stomach.
yep
And she can't be too
yeah
loud, otherwise the thing will stab her in the throat.
oh yeah and she won't shut up and
I love that
even
I love
says
that he
that
like covers
line.
his mouth, her mouth. He's like, "Shut the fuck up!
It even says that line at the he's like, oh, she should have shut up or some shit like that.
Why did you shut the
Uh,
fuck up?"
yeah, why didn't you shut the fuck up? Yeah, uh, shit was it? I think even though it's what it was an unwinnable thing, but I do think one of the coolest visuals ever is uh the trap that kills Eric, where the ice cubes come down and fucking crush his head,
Well,
and he
technically,
just fucking
it was supposed to be survivable,
yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. It
but
was
it's
supposed to be
because
yeah,
Riggs literally jumped
but
the gun
because
and got
once again,
couldn't
Riggs is a
wait. He couldn't
dumbass.
hold it in his pants for literally one more second.
Yeah, Riggs is like one of the worst fucking characters ever, and
I love that his whole justification. He's like, "I still had 1 second left." It's like, no, you were supposed to wait one more second, dummy.
yeah, it's so fucking stupid. Uh,
But yeah, seeing Matthews get crushed by two giant ice cubes
that was
is the
sick. His
sickest
head
thing I've
just
ever
fucking
seen.
explodes. Uh, I know we didn't have anything on here. Uh, and honestly, I think they're all unwinnable anyway. But Spiral, we didn't have anything for Spiral.
I feel like the
Uh,
only one that's like kind of winnable from Spiral is the first one with the tongue, because all he has to do is rip
oh
his tongue
yeah,
out.
Yeah, I think so.
He
Yeah.
would have made it as long as he did it in time. I think he would have
Yeah.
survived it. But
I
everything
feel
else was
bad for
unwinnable.
yeah. Everything else
honestly.
was unwinnable, especially the hot wax one.
What the hell was that trap anyway? I couldn't really
Uh,
figure out what the
over the
hell
fact.
was.
So
Was he being like waterboarded with like hot wax or something?
yeah. But hot wax, in order to stop it, she has to sever her spine, which would therefore make her not be able to get off of the table. So that doesn't make fucking sense at all.
Jesus Christ.
It's like, but okay, I will say, even though Spiral's probably like one of my least favorite ones because like I like a lot of the traps and stuff, but it really irritated me that they marketed it as like a detective movie in the style of Seven, but set in the Saw universe, and then I watch it in theaters, I'm like, this is literally just a fucking Saw movie.
This is just Saw 8.
This is literally just Saw 8. There's nothing different. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit more of a detective aspect to it, but it's literally just Saw.
With Sam
Uh,
Jackson.
with Sam Jackson, yeah, which was cool as shit. And Chris Rock. But they also had a really, I don't know, I didn't like the voice that they did for
It was so bad.
the new Jigsaw thing.
I like
too,
the
that,
puppet thing of like it being because he's going after cops, of it being
yeah,
like
the puppet was
a
cool.
pig in
Yeah,
a cop's outfit and everything. The voice was god awful.
It-
It
yeah, I
sounded
like
like a
that. I
little kid
liked.
trying to do like a Jigsaw voice.
Yeah, I like that he was going after like corrupt cops, and there were some really cool traps in them. But overall, Spiral just kind of
Yeah,
Uh, I will
I
say,
am.
even though,
I'm.
and the twist is so easy to figure out.
It was the easiest thing. The moment they hinted at something, I was like, oh yeah, it's him.
Yeah, as soon as they're like, oh yeah, this guy, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
he died. Here's his
he
body, but you don't
died.
ever see
Here's his
his
body,
actual
but you never
face or
saw him
anything.
die. You never saw him actually die. It's
Like
like,
really,
yeah, it's
really.
definitely him. And as soon as, and even in theaters, I was just clapping. I was like, I fucking called that shit.
Yeah, I knew it too. Like there was a couple of things that like made me call it, and like that was obviously the biggest reason. But there was also the fact that like he's a new cop. Nobody knows who he
Yeah.
is. He's unknown quantity. He's definitely it.
Yep.
Come
Yeah,
on.
that one was pretty bad, and the one where the dude had to rip his fingers off or get electrocuted, but
That
he
was
ended up still getting
gnarly, but
electrocuted.
it's still
That
inescapable.
was, yeah,
It was a rat
like,
trap though, in terms of like
yeah,
what you had to do.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like it was like,
Yeah, Spiral had some interesting stuff in there.
yeah.
Um,
I will say, I do like the song that 21 Savage did for it though.
oh yeah,
Spiral, like the song is really freaking good.
yeah.
Now I'm curious, since now we're getting Saw 10, meaning that Spiral was technically Saw 8, if there's going to be any mention of that, or if his character is going to show up in Saw 10 at some point.
I don't know, but because
Or
well,
Saw,
no, it wouldn't
or I
make any
mean,
sense because I think they've already like said that Saw 10 is going to take place between like 2 and 3 or some shit like
oh
that.
yeah, that's right. So then we're probably going to get to
Yeah,
see Logan, hopefully.
that would be. Oh, dude, I didn't even think about that. What if we do get more of Logan?
I'd like to see more Logan.
I absolutely want to see more of
Yeah,
Logan.
well, honestly, I think we might.
Logan
I
has
would love.
potential.
My whole thing is like I want an Avenger style apprentice team up where you get to see
Yeah,
all the apprentices except for
I
like,
want. I
but
want
not like
fucking.
together because they don't all know each other yet. But like,
Yeah, I want more of Dr. Gordon. We don't.
I
We
want
don't
to see
see
more Gordon
anything.
too.
I want to see him like in full on Jigsaw
I
effect.
want to see this man in full on hoodie and backwards hat during flashback sequences,
Yep,
and I expect nothing
exactly.
less.
No, it's like I said. Logan has potential. He had some really cool traps, and I love that he has his own catchphrase where Jigsaw's his game over. He just did the whole thing where he shuts the door and he says, "I speak for the dead,"
Boom,
and yeah, that's what his thing was, and
wild.
he has a cool voice too, so
Yeah,
he works. But yeah, I'm super excited for Saw 10.
me too, man. I can't wait.
I feel like they're gonna try and like go over the top since it's been so long. We're finally getting a new Saw movie, so I'm
I,
wondering what all they're gonna do.
Thinking something already really stupid, but never mind.
Oh God,
The movie starts. That's how I'm imagining the movie starts. It's a dark room, very gross, gray, like grimy, very, very much a Saw room. And all you see is the back of a man's head. This man is bald, by the way.
Okay.
The lights turn on, you see that it's Dom Toretto. And the thing is, it's Jason Momoa also shows up with Jigsaw. And he says, I'm going to make you choose between your family. You get to choose which ones you save. Okay, Dommy.
Saw 10's gonna be part 2 of Fast X.
Yep. There you go. Secretly, part 11, Fast 11. I'm curious if they're gonna just keep going on like Fast 10, Fast 11, and Fast 12 or whatever, or if they just do Furious 11 at this point.
Honestly, I think they're gonna do Fast. Honestly, I wouldn't put it past them because I know had Vin Diesel wanted to do a 3-part trilogy ending. I was thinking about it on the way home. I was like, honestly, I'm not gonna put it past them if they go Fast XX and Fast XXX.
Oh my god!
I can definitely see them doing that.
Because at least this one, Jesus Christ, it's like the closest in consistency to the other one. Because you had Fast 5.
Yeah.
This one's kind of close. It's Fast 10, but it's just a numeral, so it's just Fast X.
Yeah. I think the craziest out there thing they've done was in 7 when they did Fate of the Furious.
Oh no, that was Furious 7. 8 was Fate of the Furious.
Oh yeah.
The Fate of the Furious.
It sounds so fucking like cringe.
Because like if you look at something like
more serious,
but you look at something like Furious 7. Furious 7 sounds like a samurai movie. Like Magnificent 7, or like something like that. The Furious 7.
I just one of the funniest things I saw on Twitter thread the other day. It said honestly, Fast and the Furious is the greatest look at how is the greatest look where you think about it as a D&D campaign. Where,
it really is.
Where they at level 1 they started out as those little street racers still in VCRs, and then by level 15 they've advanced to this, and then after that the DM has basically just said fuck it. It's just
the DM
having
being
fun.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Because you do know he's like a giant D&D fan, right? He's got like stacks
Is
of
he
books.
really?
Oh yeah.
I
Like
didn't know that.
when I was looking at this interview with Michelle Rodriguez about the D&D movie that she did with Chris Pine and everything, and she was like, yeah, when I told Vin that I got the movie, this man almost cried, and I went to his house to like chill and everything, and he opened his closet and he's got like stacks of modules and like rule books.
Oh my god.
The man is a legit like menace at D&D.
Oh my god. It's like how Teddy showed me a video of a what's his fucking name? Joe
Manganiello, who's also like
Joe Manganiello,
super into D&D and like Warhammer.
Yeah, he got his own fucking D&D like table made.
Yeah.
And he has his own like little dungeon room and everything for it and everything.
And even like Henry Cavill, he's like super into Warhammer.
God. Yeah.
Like Henry Cavill like legit went on a whole like conversation during a press tour about somebody just over Warhammer. Instead of talking about like whatever movie he was supposed to be advertising.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. But yeah, those were again getting off topic.
I know we talked about Fast.
This one was my fault though. I'm the one who brought it back up.
People will be listening and they're gonna be like,
is this a Fast and Furious?
Kind of weird. I didn't know Fast and the Furious had anything to do with Saw 10 traps or something.
Welcome to Sounds from the Room.
We're gonna do a spin-off Sounds of the Room, the Fast and the Furious podcast, where we review every movie fan theory.
We review every movie, we do fan theories, and we even like talk about just characters for a whole episode, like one character for a whole episode. All right, guys, today we're gonna be talking about Rodrigo Braga from Fast and Furious. Jesus Christ. Anyway. But yeah, that was our top 10 Saw traps. we're gonna put something out here on Twitter later. I want to see if people would tell us their favorite talk traps or their top tens at least, just to like see how they compare to ours, and then like just like
Yeah.
get into see what other people like in the Saw franchise.
Yep.
But yeah, that's really all we had for this. But before we go, we're gonna do our housekeeping. Kyle, if you want to start us off, and like where can you be found and such?
So you can find me on Twitter at Kyle S. Prescott and on Instagram at Kyle S. Prescott. And I'm mostly on Twitter, and like I said, I post horror, wrestling, Fast and the Furious, and just everything in between.
For me, you can find me on Instagram at at Yussef1220, and then on Twitter at Youssef. I'm usually a little bit more active on Twitter. Not a whole lot right now, just because like work has got me pretty busy, so I'm like not as active as I used to be on social media, but I'm trying to be. But I mean, I just asked Kyle. I post just the stupidest shit on Twitter, nothing but stupid shit and dad jokes. And then for our podcast, we are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Slasher as Sounds from the Grave. And then you can listen to our podcast on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, pretty much anywhere you can listen to podcasts. And also on our YouTube channel, which I'm really hoping that we can make some more content for it soon. But yeah, that's all we had. And obviously Vanya wasn't here, but you can follow her Twitter at HHN Cultus. She does a lot of HHN related stuff, a lot of also like horror stuff, horror makeup related stuff. So definitely check her out too. A lot of awesome stuff on her Twitter too. And that's really all we got. So I want to thank you guys so much for listening to this, for watching the YouTube video if you're watching it, and that you stay spooky.
Stay spooky.
Bye everybody.